Chamber of Commerce breakfast meeting. I am Pat Schneider. I'm the president of the Great Neck Chamber of Commerce, board member of the Nassau Council of Chambers, and president of Patricia Schneider Design Consultants, a promotional company. So we have an honored guest today, and he has brought his wonderful group with him, who will introduce themselves a little later, but I thank you. Mayor Rosen was elected in 2020 and has been recently re-elected in an uncontested election this year. So we congratulate him wholeheartedly. It's wonderful work being done. Is this working?
You don't need it. I hope that I can win.
Now it works. Okay. The mayor is involved in all aspects of village government, including being a board member of North Shore TV. And I want to thank them for joining us today, as I want to thank Corinne Sedano for hosting us here today. So anyway, the mayor will lead us in a very interesting conversation this morning about what's happening in the village and the plans for the future. Mayor, please join us.
As I said, I'm very happy to be here, and I have to say, with the self-introductions, the introductions of my colleagues in the village, and Honey's acknowledgement of our being numbers to Nish.com rate number 1. And that was half my speech. Any questions? But I am very happy to be here. I would like to thank Pat and Dennis for inviting us and me to speak, and the members, executive board members, and members of the chamber for having me here. We are very happy. I'm very happy to be here to be able to speak to you about the issues that are going on in the village, the issues that we think are very important. We'd like to thank Mike Peters from North Shore TV and North Shore TV for filming this event. We're very thankful to them. And we also say that, in my observation over the years, when you are invited to speak in a place, you know whether or not you did well by whether or not they invited that. And depending on the time it takes for them to invite you back, you know how well you did. So very happy to report this morning. But this is my second time being invited to speak to the chamber. The first time, it was in 1985.
Whoa.
And that's the truth. I would just like to say that we in the village government know that the Plaza has been, for many, many years, a great place to live, to work, to shop, and we're very proud of it. We in Great Neck Plaza, like other communities, have had our share of challenges over the years, especially the retail businesses in the downtown, which are extremely important to the success and the survival of any downtown. And with the downtown goes the community. It's the downtown we know is vital to the community. And I could just list briefly some of the challenges that we in other areas in much of the United States have faced over the years. Back years ago, the malls and the big box stores. And then the advent of e-shopping. We all probably use e-shopping. I'm not a big shopper, but you have to confess I use it. Great convenience, but at the same time, there's a tremendous negative impact on the people that are very important to us, the local businesses, local retail shops. We also, of course, all remember we lived through the pandemic and the enormous challenges that the pandemic had on all of us, on our lives, but especially the businesses that are downtown. Very, very serious problems that we tried to overcome. And a big challenge for us in Great Neck, especially for people in the retail business, is, as we all know, Great Neck has been undergoing tremendous demographic changes. And as I'll mention a little bit later, I, for one, with my colleagues, are very happy to celebrate that Great Neck is a very diverse community. And I think that's something that we should all be proud of. However, from a retail perspective, it's a challenge because you have to find the right businesses that are going to be supported by the population in that community. And as that population changes, the requirements for the right business change. And I'm pleased to note that a number of our businesses have met the challenge, but it's an ongoing challenge. And it's something that we all have to be very cognizant of. As was pointed out by Boucher, last month, March, niche.com came out with its rankings, and Great Neck Plaza was ranked #1 in several categories. #1 as the best place to live in New York, #1 as the best suburb in New York, #1 as the best suburb in the New York City area, and #2, I believe, as the best suburb to young professionals to live in New York. And that's, I think, something that we all can take pride in. And we are very proud of that. And we hope to continue all that has gone into that selection 10 years. Now, I'd like to touch upon several points that are very important to us in the Village of Great Neck Plaza. As you know, the Village of Great Neck Plaza is small geographically. It's less than 1/3 a square mile. But it's a very, very busy local government. People are amazed when they find out about all of the things that we on this Village of Great Neck Plaza are involved in. Some of our colleagues in neighboring villages, are not involved in all these things. They don't have to. If you have a village that's largely suburban, because he's not faced with many of the challenges that we have to face and meet on a regular basis. One thing that's been very important to me and my colleagues in village government is always to maintain fiscal responsibility. Government at all levels, federal, state, local, and the smallest level, village governments must live within their means. And it's very challenging because you want to live within your means, but at the same time, you have all these problems and issues that you have to deal with and go through some of it. So the demands and the expenses are there. But the challenge is to face those demands and challenges living within your means. I'm very pleased to announce, some of you may have known this before, that this past year, I believe we succeeded. We practiced fiscal restraint. And the village lowered the general village tax rate this year by 3.5%, from $6 per $100 of assessed valuation, to $5.71 per $100 assessed valuation. So we actually lowered the general village tax rates, and we did not exceed the tax cap. And I have to give credit to our village clerk treasurer, Patricia O'Byrne, for doing much of the hard work to make that possible. Now, another very important priority for us in our village is to maintain the vitality of the downtown. We have seen over the years villages and towns throughout the country that lose their downtown basically wind up suffering a severe impact, and the entire town, village, or whatever it is. Maintaining the downtown as a vibrant downtown is extremely important. And we work hard to do that. And the challenges are still there. I'm not saying we achieve total success, that would never be true, but we have made progress. In the last 2 years, since 2022, 47 new businesses have come into Great Neck Plaza. And these are businesses that have applied for and have obtained conditional use permits. Certain types of businesses require under our code to get a conditional use permit. This does not include businesses that can come in as a right. A retail store, for example, selling some type of general merchandise, probably does not have to get conditional use permit. So we're not even counting. But for us to look back and say, over the last few years, we have seen 47 new businesses come in and be approved, I think is something that we are proud of. And we hope that continues. And the business people that come before us, they're smart people, though. They are choosing Great Neck and Great Neck Plaza because they do their own. And they know that they want to do their business here. We in the village feel that it's very important to maintain a very friendly and welcoming atmosphere for new applicants that come in, to encourage them. Very happy that Andy is one of our newest businesses, new member of the chamber, from Andy's Candy Tree, right? Please go visit his shop over on South Station Plaza, the Rotary. Beautiful little store and offering a diverse selection of products. And Andy came before us a month and a half or so. And we tried him and all the others that come before us to really extend a welcoming hand and to help us. But sometimes people will say, oh, it's very difficult to open a business at Great Neck Plaza. It takes a long time to get a permit. And we know, right? Michael, Pam, Pat, Shannon, we know that that's really not true. The vast majority of businesses that come before us for permits get approved in one meeting. Usually, it doesn't go over to a second meeting unless there's a particular issue that we have to deal with. And the vast majority of these 47 businesses I mentioned have been approved in one meeting. And we want to do our best to make sure that these new business people could feel welcome. We have an e-newsletter that we try to put out every month, thanks to Shravan, who was very hard on that. And as part of that e-newsletter, we'll tell every applicant that's approved, submit an article to us, and we'll be happy to publish in my newsletter. Andy did that last month. We did publish it, and we do whatever we can in that newsletter to promote the downtown, to promote specific businesses. We also do, as many of you know, ribbon cuttings, ceremonies at the store when we open. And the main purpose of that is to attract attention and attract publicity. Over the last couple of years, we have worked to try to do recruiting of new businesses into our downtown. There were times that we had the downtown recruiter. We don't have one now. And I know I and other people in the village informally do our best to recruit, bring in new businesses. And that's the challenge, to bring in new businesses that will be able to succeed given the population, that's the diverse population of Plaza. We also do a lot to support our existing businesses in other ways. We work with our BID, the Business Improvement District of Great Neck Plaza, and they put on a series of promotions through the year, Halloween event, Valentine's Day, gift cards. I know Martin is very much involved with the gift card program, and that's been pretty successful. We in the village and the BID, we have programs to bring people into our downtown, which is very important. Very important. In summer, we have our concerts. Every Tuesday night, rain date on Thursday, Firefighters Park. I'd like to see everybody there. Bill is there. Bill is one of our sponsors. Very, very important. First of all, they're very enjoyable programs. We work hard to come up with a good selection of bands that perform. But it's also important because it brings people into the downtown. And that's a very strong reason why we do that, bring people to downtown. The Business Improvement District is responsible for the promenades. And I think many of you attended promenade the last year. And they've been very good for a number of years. But last year, I think, was the best ever. They had a series, I think, or was it 4 or 5 promenades last year? Very, very successful. We closed different streets, Bond Street, Fortunes and Middle Neck Road. Bid is working. We do the same thing this year, possibly tweaking where the locations will be. But so many people have come up to me and others in the village just telling us how enjoyable these promenades are. And the reason we do it is because it's a nice experience. It's a very enjoyable event to come out with family, dinner outside, musical entertainment. The other reason, very important, is we are bringing people into our downtown. That is extremely important. We have worked with Hofstra University. We are planning to do a similar cohort coming up in the summer or fall, where the village provides at its expense training for merchants in the plaza. And we work with Business Center, Hofstra University. The emphasis on training is on marketing, and in particular, social media marketing. And the people that have gone through the training, Marty has been one of our first graduates. I think if you speak to Marty and others, they will tell you it's very, very valuable. A lot of our merchants today, surprisingly, may not be into social media and social media marketing. And as the business people of the green know, that's where it is to bring people to your store. You have to advertise. So you have to advertise these social media. So we are happy to provide that training at our expense. I don't think you can find another village or even towns in New York that does that. We think it's a very justifiable expense. And we are looking forward to continuing that with Hofstra later this summer, perhaps in the fall. We have obtained grant funding from Nassau County to use in one way, various ways, but one way is to work with certain stores, which we selected through a ranking process, to upgrade the physical appearance of the outside of the store. And funding now, we have an initial group of 5 stores that we selected last year. We're going through the process of selecting contractors, bidding process, but the program will upgrade their lights, their signs, and awnings. It's a small part of running a business, but it's an important part. People go to shop in stores that are attractive, stores that they find to be inviting, and that's what we're looking to do. After we get through these 5 stores, we hope to be able to select another group of stores to work together to upgrade their lights, signs, and awnings. We also provide support in various miscellaneous ways. Was at the bid meeting last night, that was referred to. Question came up about outdoor dining. And we are encouraging our restaurants to take advantage of the space in front of their restaurants to set up outdoor dining tables. Now, caveat is that safety is first. So we cannot say every restaurant can put out tables, because we have to be concerned with traffic, vehicle, and pedestrian traffic. So we have to be concerned with that. But where the space allows for outdoor tables, we will work with the restaurants to maximize their use in that space, because we think outdoor dining is extremely important to the village. It really makes the village much more attractive, much more welcoming, people coming in to that village. We also work in various ways that we may not seem so obvious. This past couple of months, we were very pleased that, I guess I could say the name now, Law and Order Organized Crime Unit selected our village for 4 different episodes at different locations in the village. We're very happy to do this. First of all, it's a financial incentive to the village. I'll make no secret about it. We get paid. But it also draws attention to the village. It draws attention to the village. And I know Pat, Ken, and Michael, that the people in the production crew, a lot of 75, it's nice people, thank you. Many of them just commented to us how nice it was to work with. We bent over backwards because if you work with TV shows, you know one thing. They don't tell you like the schedule filming June 15th. But they say, they call you up today and they say, we'd like to film an episode next Wednesday in the village. You know what? And we could easily say no. I know people know they've done it say, well, you can't do that. Come back to us with a date in June. Then you don't get in show. They work on very tight set, war and order. We learned filming a new episode every few weeks. So they would come to us literally, am I right? On a couple of days' notice. And we did our best to accommodate that. And sometimes it got a little complicated because we had, we have to consider things like parking and traffic flow. And we worked closely with the Nassau County Police Department. We worked with nice buses. We relocated some of the buses, closed some streets, and we moved around park. And we did that on a very short order, very short notice. And that's good for the village, to bring in activities like that don't normally go on in the village. Now, we also value our relationship with the chamber. Now, over the years, under Gene's leadership, we have worked closely with the chamber, and we look forward to continuing to maintain that close relationship. Roger and I have a meeting tomorrow, long-awaited meeting, somebody to discuss the reconstruction of the chamber kiosk. So we're going to meet tomorrow, and hopefully we're moving ahead on that. So maybe we can work out an agreement so we're mostly village and the chamber share the use of that kiosk. And that's just one small way that the village over the years and the bid and the bid and the chamber have worked together. And by the way, I would encourage the chamber to also work closely with the bid. This is improvement district. There's a lot that they can do working together. Now, in addition to all of these things, do very important things that most villages are doing. Up high on that list is completing, maintaining, and improving the infrastructure of the village. And that's taking up a lot of our time and attention. We completed, in my first year as mayor, a project that Gene started, a very ambitious project, which she was able to do, to repave all of the village roads. We did that over a multi-year process. COVID came, it was delayed for 1 year. Gene did most of it. We finished the last phase of that. So we were able, in that multi-year project, to repave all of the village roads. We worked this past summer to renovate the sidewalk of the Boston Road Bridge. And summer before that, as part of the road repaving, we repaved the road. But our responsibility also extended to the sidewalk. And so we did that. State law requires that municipality, which has a bridge going over train tracks, the municipality has to maintain the road and the sidewalk. The railroad has to maintain the structure of the bridge. And we are looking at ways to pursue that with one on railroad, where they come in and look to renovate as necessary the structure of that bridge. We are advised by our engineers that the bridge is safe, a question about being safe, but it needs work, it needs renovation. And so we're pursuing that, we'll be pursuing that with one on railroad. We are in the process of working on renovating our 2 village garages. We did renovations of the Plaza garage. It was renovated several times under June's leadership. And we did a renovation that last year, we completed last year. And we started the renovation of the second garage, the Maple Drive garage. And that will be continuing this year. And we know it's an impact on our residents, but it's very, very important to maintain these garages. These are open air garages. The roofs are not covered, which is the way they were designed. As I know that's the design, but water gets in, rain gets in, and it's a constant battle because of the water going through that those garages to maintain those garages. So we're doing that. We're meeting our responsibility in that respect. We are also We want to improve pedestrian and motor traffic safety in our village. We reduced the speed limit on a number of streets. Wasn't a great reduction. It was as much as we could do. We lowered the speed limits on many streets, 30 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour, and every bit helps. You probably have noticed that we installed solar-powered speed awareness signs around the village, as did other communities in Breakneck. We have to thank our county legislator, Mazi Kulip, for helping us get the financing. We got these devices, but the county winds up paying for it through her efforts. We also installed at certain locations blinking red stop signs, and that's something that we're chronically going to try to extend. We come up to certain important, heavily traveled intersections, and the stop sign blinks red. We are working with Nassau County on the installation of what's called leading pedestrian indicators. You may not know what that is, but it's a traffic engineering device where if I'm crossing an intersection and I step off into the intersection, I get a certain number of seconds head start before the vehicles coming behind me or towards me. And traffic engineers will tell you that's a great reprieve in terms of safety. Because by giving me a couple of seconds head start into the intersection, the traffic behind me turning right to my path and the opposing traffic turning left into my paths are better able to see around us. And they say that's a very important thing to try to reduce pedestrian accidents at certain intersections. So we are working with the county to get those installed. We also worked with the county on projects that the county undertakes. New Lake Road rephasing a couple of years ago. Cardinal Road, as you may know, is scheduled to go through a major safety renovation. It's later this spring, so it's more immediate in a couple of weeks. The county is starting its project to renovate this Great Neck Road Bridge, Columbia Train Campus. That will be, I just got an email yesterday that's on schedule to start sometime in the early part of May. So we work with the county on these projects to the extent that we can, trying to minimize the impact on our residents of surrounding areas in Great. We maintain other essential services. We maintain clean roads, sidewalks, snow removal. They'd like to talk about that. I guess April 11th, could say to talk about it. Maybe. Probably have a major storm next week, after I say it. We work very hard to be ready for snow. And I'm proud to say that our trucks are out. Early, you get a jump on any storms. And then work with the contractor to be backed up. If you get a really major storm, you have a contractor lined up to help come in and work through our village Department of Public Works. In addition to all the programs I mentioned, we are very proud that we have a number of educational and cultural programs this year. We've worked with our residents group and placing me on the residents group. So, for example, earlier this year, we had a beautiful Lunar New Year celebration in the village hall. And it was a really very nice program. And then in the month of March, which was Women's History Month, we co-sponsored a program with our friends from the village of Kings Point, Henry and his colleagues in the village. And that program celebrated the 50th anniversary of women being admitted to the Merchant Marine Academy. We were proud of that. They were very proud of that because they were the first federal service academy to admit women as a class of 1974. And we commemorated that. We had 2 graduates from that class speak, joined by 2 of the current senior class from the academy. So we're very happy to do those. But these are the types of programs that we do in our village because we think the village should do many things for serving all of its population. And I don't just mean Great Plaza residents, people from wherever in the Great Neck community or elsewhere are welcome to attend. We're planning an Earth Day program. Earth Day is in April. We're going to do ours in May to be a little different. Because the scheduling, we pushed it back to May. We were also bringing back a program we had last May, which is going to be in June, Miss New York Senior America. These are women over 60 years old. We basically modeled their program after the Miss America contest. They have a pageant. I'm actually going to be a judge in the pageant, either during May. But then they perform. So we're going to have them back in Firefighters Park to perform. One of the things I'm really proud of, as I mentioned before, we have a very diverse community. And I see that not as a negative, I see that very much as a positive, because Great Neck can really go out and make a name for itself. Not that it has to, but to make a name for itself as a warm, welcoming community for everybody, whatever the person's background is. And that's what we've done. And that's what we've done, and that's what we continue to do. We had a program in January, right before Martin Luther King's birthday weekend, and we called that Prelude to Martin Luther King Day, United Against Hate. And we featured a prominent rabbi, an imam, a member of the National Board of the NAACP, representative from the Great Neck Chinese Association, and a representative from SHOP, Sephardic Group of Women. And they got together and they talked about uniting against hatred. And that's something that's very important for all of us to do, not just to talk about it, but to take action. And I'm in the process of working with some people in our community to organize an ongoing group that will meet regularly, people of diverse backgrounds, to develop ways that people of diverse backgrounds can come together, get to know each other, work together. And very importantly, when something happens, when some negative incident happens, stand up united against those incidents. And we hope to launch that late in the next month or two. I'll close. I'm running out of time, I think. We ran out of time minutes ago. But one thing I enjoy about this job, and you're going to find this strange, I enjoy the fights. I get a great, Shani will test this, and I get a great deal of complaints. And the complaints sometimes, you scratching, first of all, they could, oftentimes they're nuisance. You step back and don't take yourself so seriously. Of course, I'm not going to laugh to each people who call it, but I try to speak to as many of them as possible. Not everyone. And it's a challenge. So the other day, a lady called up and blamed us just with a bad mail service. I have a great deal of power as mayor. It's not really my jurisdiction. And then I get the people, over the years, has been another. In one sense, they issue 2 complaints. They will tell me, boy, the village is dead. The downtown is dead. And I can't find any place to park. After the village is dead, then you have no place to park. I did. You should go. My favorite complaint, I keep saying to myself, I'm going to take notes and write a book. My favorite complaint, a lady, I think she emailed me about a year ago. She drives down Skank Avenue every morning, and she stops at the light at Skank Avenue in South Middle Neck Road every morning. And she looks at the car next to her, and she says, he has in the car a Halloween skeleton. Please get them to remove that skeleton. It terrorizes me. It's hard. Place to the bay. So you got to step back and you got to treat these people seriously, treat them with respect, which we do. But sometimes it's just very useful. So in conclusion, again, I thank you for having me here to speak about things that are important to us in the village, the things that are going on. And we will continue to work to meet the challenge, to promote the beauty of our village, to celebrate our diversity, and to keep the downtown as vibrant as it is not only to stay at that level, but to improve and increase the vibrancy of the downtown, and as well to maintain all of the important services that villages can provide to their residents. And we hope to continue doing that for a long time, successfully, and we look forward to working with the chamber wherever we can. So thank you.